Good afternoon. Welcome to Discovering Truth. I thought I would make a testimonial video today, kind of give you an idea of where I started from, how I got to where I am today, as far as my belief system. So I went to church like any normal kid when I was 4 or 5 years old. Hated it, ran around, got in trouble all the time, and I overheard them say that my mom, it was a Baptist church, by the way, overheard them say that my mom didn't have to or would go to hell because she wore pants. I didn't really understand what that meant. It just didn't sound good. So I went to mom. I told her about it. She said we didn't have to go anymore. As a little kid, I was happy about that. So fast forward to teenager, early 20s. My grandpa asked me to go to church with him. And so I started going. I love my grandpa. So all it took was a request. And I started getting into the church a little bit. As far as the fellowship, as far as the family aspect of it, I still didn't understand anything. I still didn't really read my Bible a little bit. I would try, I'd get through Genesis, I'd get through Exodus, and I got bored with Leviticus. Most weeks I would fall asleep in church. So it really wasn't more than like an emotional place for me. Wonderful people, but it just, nothing stuck. Wasn't until I got into my late 20s that I ended up getting into a little bit of trouble, realized my way of living life doesn't work, and I did the thing that all of us do. God, get me out of this, and I will serve you. I distinctly heard him say, if you're going to serve me now. If you're really going to do it, why do you need me to get you out of things? And that's when it dawned on me. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I need to serve him. But I didn't know how to serve him. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything about him. So I had decided I was going to read the Bible all the way through, cover to cover, for the first time. Took me 7 months. So obviously I couldn't read it all day long every day. I've heard that you can read it cover to cover in like 25 hours or something like that, nonstop. I don't know. Anyway, I read it cover to cover and I didn't understand anything. I started attending Bible studies and was learning a lot by a guy named Joshua. Funny enough, that's actually the more accurate English translation for the name of the Messiah, for Jesus. But if I said, Joshua, the name above every name, everyone's going to call me a heretic. But anyway, so I ended up learning from him, started learning from doing other Bible studies and things like that. And I ended up finding a mentor named Rick. And he really helped me not tell me what the Bible says, but he taught me how to study it. He taught me how to look up words, all that kind of stuff. Very beginning things, but everyone needs a beginning. From there, as I started reading, I ran across a cassette tape, if you remember those, and it was a teaching by a guy named Michael Pitts, and from Cornerstone Church and somewhere in Ohio. Anyway, I still have the tape. I will never get rid of it. It changed my life forever. He was teaching that there was no rapture. And I was a huge Left Behind guy. So to me, that was like, no, this is wrong. And so I took the skills that I had at the time and I did everything I could to try to prove this guy wrong. Problem was I couldn't do it. Everything he was saying in there was right. And so I was like, well, man, if the church is wrong about, this guy was right, and the church is wrong about the rapture, what else could they be wrong about? And that's when I started questioning. I'm like, how do I even know what I'm reading is true? How do I know what I'm believing is true? It's just a book, right? So I started researching the book. Started realizing that there were way too many prophecies given, mostly about Jesus, about Yeshua, that the Bible itself had to be correct. There's no other book it's never been wrong. Now there's things that haven't been proven by it, like we haven't found Noah's Ark, maybe. But when we do discover something, it always backs up the Bible. It always reinforces it. The Bible's never been wrong about anything. So I realized I could trust the Bible. But then I thought, well, how do I know what it says? I've read it cover to cover. I've been reading it. I've been studying it. But I've been studying it through my preconceived notions. This time I decided, you know what? I'm going to read the Bible and study the Bible. And whatever it says, that's truth. Whether I agree with it, don't agree with it, whatever it is, that's truth. That led me down a path that eventually came to the Torah. Well, first it came to Sabbath. I had a guy that actually challenged me, and he was a Seventh-day Adventist. His name was Tom. And he said, where's Sunday in the Bible? I'm like, oh, it's all over the place. She goes, well, show me. Well, I couldn't find the word Sunday because the word Sunday is not in the Bible. And so then he starts helping me. He goes, well, look up first day of the week. I was like, oh, yeah, it would be that, wouldn't it? So I look up all the places that say first day of the week, and none of them say to worship him on Sunday. None of them say it was a change from Saturday to Sunday, or Sabbath to Sunday. So then I started looking up the word Sabbath. And it's crazy. It's all over the Bible. It's probably the most talked about commandment in the whole Bible. And it's the only one that tells us to remember in the Ten Commandments. It's the only one we forget. So anyway, I end up accepting the Sabbath. I end up accepting later on the law because I ran across Deuteronomy 28. It says if you obey the law, you get all these blessings. And I was like, well, does that still work? I want the blessings. Well, and I'll obey the law. Started studying more. Started following Torah. Gave up Christmas and Easter and all of those. I gave up Sunday worship. Got kicked out of the church. Started keeping Sabbath, the feast days, Passover, Pentecost, all of those, Tabernacles. And started wearing seats and different things, trying to really obey the law. And then I ran across a guy named Rob Skiba. Totally changed my life. He was teaching that the angels in Genesis 6 slept with women and created the Nephilim, which I totally disagreed with at the time. I was part of the Sethite theory. But the more I watched him, the more I realized I was wrong about that. The Bible does say that that's what happened. Talks about giants, Then he started talking about flat earth. I didn't even have a concept. I didn't know what what do you mean? I didn't even know what he meant by it. But I started, because I trusted him in what he taught me on the Nephilim, I started watching him and learning what he was talking about flat earth. And there's over 200 verses that say the Bible's flat, or say 200 verses in the Bible that say the earth is flat. I can't see it any other way now. And so, yeah, I'm a flat earther. I'm a Torah observant believer. I can't wait to see what's next. What I'm learning now is that we might possibly be in what they call Satan's little season. So in Revelation, it says that all the wicked come up in Armageddon. Jesus comes down, destroys the wicked, and raises everybody to life. First resurrection. The righteous, I should say. And then reigns for 1,000 years. And then it says after that, Satan will be released for a short season, little season. Doesn't specify how long. So that he can go deceive the nations. Well, it's got to be somewhat, it takes a minute to deceive people. It also calls this the second resurrection. So those that weren't in the first one are now in the second resurrection. So all the wicked people, and when you look at this world today, it's pretty wicked. Has this been going on this way since the beginning? Or are we in the time when you have all the people that rejected God, that rejected Messiah, now they're alive? Yeah, we're a bunch of selfish people. Maybe we're in that season. And then eventually, all the world will come against the camp of God, and the New Jerusalem will come down and wipe them out one last time. And then there's the Great White Throne Judgment. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, kind of like my timeline, and with the Bible. And yeah, any questions? Leave me a comment. Like, subscribe, and have a blessed day.